You know, Governor, it's interesting in these Fox tracking polls we took, and these exit polls. President Obama is still thought of very highly here. In fact, he has roughly the same approval as does Governor Walker. When asked how would you vote in November versus Mitt Romney, by anywhere from a 5 to 8 point margin, the president is preferred. That might explain why he opted not to get in this race. So what do you make of that, and whether Wisconsin is in play for Republicans or not?
Well, I think it's quite telling that the president did choose to stay away from the Walker recall effort until that obligatory effort just at the last minute via video and maybe a little spot that he did. He knows that he cannot be attached to this effort that would try to fool the people into believing that bigger government, more debt, insolvency is a way to create jobs and to save an economy. He doesn't want himself tainted with what a lot of this issue is all about. So I think it's telling that the president stayed away until he was kind of goaded into making a comment or two about it, because I believe that he's just going to be appalled and shocked to see that the majority of voters in a state like Wisconsin and elsewhere, despite the fact that maybe they like Obama as a person, understand that bigger government, centralized government, isn't the answer. It truly is the problem.
Governor, when I spoke to Governor Scott Walker, he talked about how, despite the notoriety he's getting here, he's not interested in running for president. He's not interested in being Mitt Romney's running mate. But he did say there's one Wisconsinite he would put on that ticket if it were up to him, and that is Paul Ryan. What do you think of that?
I think Paul Ryan is a good egg. He truly is a fiscal conservative. I get frustrated just as a member of the general public that even Paul Ryan, I believe, sometimes doesn't go far enough. We need sudden and relentless reform when it comes to reining in the government's budget as we're spending more and more of our children and grandchildren's $4 billion a day, Neil, that we're incurring in debt on a national level. It's unethical. It's immoral. I think it's illegal that we're doing such a thing. Paul Ryan, at least, is in the arena fighting it out, trying to share these good ideas of how to rein it in. More power to him.
So when you hear President Clinton, as he did, I think today, I was saying a little bit of it yesterday, that now is not the time for big austerity, that it would have just the opposite effect. It would make a bad situation worse. What do you say?
And yet President Clinton, bless his heart, he worked closely with Newt Gingrich those years ago to balance budgets and allow a surplus on the federal level. That was a bit of austerity that he embraced and he practiced, and we appreciate his efforts. So I think he's got to kind of say what he's got to say, for his party and for his cause. But I believe deep in his heart and in his gut, President Clinton knows we need austerity measures. He knows we can't go the way of these European nations that are going under. And America has the opportunity with the workforce, with the technology, with the natural resources to be developed. We have the opportunity to rein in government, allow the private sector to do what it does best, and our entrepreneurs to reinvest and create jobs. And that entails a bit of austerity.
Governor, as I'm speaking to you, you might even be hearing yourself, and the horn honking, the yelling, the screaming. And it was just occurring to me, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, how divided this state remains, how divided we as a country remain. There's a great deal of acrimony. I saw it myself when I was broadcasting a street side yesterday. Some people actually really liked me and said nice things, Governor, and other people said things I know you encounter yourself, good and bad, but said things I can't repeat. There are children watching this hour. So it's an extreme love-hate type of thing. And I don't know in this environment, whatever the results tonight, whatever the results in November, whether that changes, are we just going to be a perpetually, severely divided America? What do you think?
We will be perpetually, severely divided as long as people believe that private political parties are the answer to solving so many of America's economic challenges. Sometimes people put partisanship in the way of just doing what's right for the people and applying common sense to what our economic woes are today. If people can just kind of back away from that obsessive partisanship and understand what it's going to take to put the economy back on the right track, back, then and just within that is an inherent unifier right there. That just the ideas of common sense, of living within our means as a government, of allowing the private sector to grow and thrive. Once we get there, Neil, and I think we're going to be forced to get there again as we watch the European countries sink under debt, I think that we will unify. We will have no choice. Otherwise, America will go down that path of some of these insolvent European countries. We'll go under. So we kind of have no choice here. If we want to save our republic, we have to unify, not put obsessive partisanship in front of just doing what's right in reining in government spending.
All right, Governor Sarah Palin, it is always a pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Keep up the great work.